If you win the lottery twice and still end up penniless, living in a trailer park, it means you're not lucky. You are just cursed. And that's exactly what happened with Evelyn Adams. She won the lottery 2 years in a row. She had $5.4 million. Still, within a few years, she lost everything she had. So, what really happened? How did she go from multi-millionaire to penniless? The epic wins. Back in the day, Evelyn Adams was just another face in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. She worked her shifts at a convenience store and minded her own business. But she had one little habit that changed everything. Every week, without fail, she would drop $25 on lottery tickets. It wasn't much, but it was her thing. She had been doing it since 1971, right when New Jersey started their lottery. Week after week, year after year, those tickets never paid off. But Evelyn kept playing anyway. By the 1980s, she had gotten more serious about it. That $25 a week had grown to over $100. Some people might call that crazy money to spend on lottery tickets, but Evelyn saw it differently. She was investing in a dream, and in 1985, that dream finally came true. The first win felt unreal to her. One moment, she was scratching off another ticket, probably expecting nothing, like always. The next moment, she was staring at numbers that meant $3.9 million. After 14 years of losing tickets, she had finally done it. And then, 1 year later, it happened again. This time for $1.4 million more. The odds of this happening were so crazy that mathematicians probably had to double-check their calculators. It was 1 in 17 trillion chances. You could play the lottery every day for 1,000 lifetimes and never see anything like it. This is why Evelyn Adams became the most famous lottery winner in America that year. The money came in annual payments, just like she had chosen. After the government took its 20% cut for taxes, she was left with $218,000 coming in every single year. That's more than most people make in their entire careers, and it was guaranteed to keep coming for decades. For someone who had been spending over $100 a week on lottery tickets, this should have been the perfect ending. Financial security for life. No more worrying about bills. No more working if she didn't want to. She could travel, buy a nice house, and maybe help out her family. The American dream delivered on a silver platter. So, what went wrong? The road downhill. The first problem was that everyone knew about the money. When you win the lottery once, you get attention. When you win it twice, you become a walking news story. People started treating Evelyn differently. Some wanted to be her friend. Others wanted her help with their problems. Everyone seemed to want something. At first, she did some right things. She paid off her bills, set up a college fund for her daughter, bought herself a decent car, and handed out some gifts to family members. She was doing pretty normal stuff for someone who just came into serious money. She didn't go crazy buying yachts or diamond jewelry. She stayed in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, kept working at the convenience store owned by her fiancé Herman, and made plans for a simple future together. But it was after her second win that everything went downhill. The first thing that started draining her money was her own generosity. Evelyn had a problem saying no, and word got out fast that she was willing to help people. Family members showed up with sob stories. Friends needed loans. Neighbors had emergencies. Even strangers started approaching her on the street asking for handouts. She later admitted that everybody wanted her money. Everybody had their hand out. She never learned one simple word in the English language. No. She started handing out money as if it were nothing. The problem was, most of these loans never came back. People took her money and disappeared. Others just assumed she had so much that she wouldn't miss what they'd borrowed. Even within her own family, things got complicated. Some relatives were genuinely happy for her success. Others got jealous and bitter. She said that most of her family was great, but a few were angry because she had so much. Money that was supposed to bring security instead brought drama into her life. But the real money killer wasn't her generosity, it was her gambling. Evelyn developed a serious addiction to the casino tables, and Atlantic City became her second home. She hit the slot machines, tried her luck at blackjack, played poker, and spun the roulette wheel. She convinced herself that winning the lottery twice meant she had some kind of supernatural luck. She thought her hot streak would continue forever. She admitted years later that she was a big-time gambler. She didn't drop $1 million, but it was a lot of money. And when you are gambling regularly, a lot of money adds up incredibly fast. A few hundred here, a few thousand there. Weekend trips that turned into week-long binges. She would win some back occasionally, which only fed the addiction. Those small wins made her think she was still lucky, still special. But the house always wins in the end, and Evelyn learned that lesson the expensive way. The gambling was not just recreational either. She genuinely believed she could multiply her lottery winnings through smart bets. Instead of treating her annual payments as retirement money, she saw them as gambling capital. Each year's $218,000 payment became funding for her next casino adventure. Meanwhile, she was trying to build a legitimate business empire. Evelyn bought the convenience store where she used to work, the same one Herman had owned. For a while, it actually looked promising. People started calling it the Lucky Store and would drive from all over New Jersey to buy their lottery tickets there. Everyone wanted to catch some of Evelyn's magic luck. But running a business takes more than luck, and Evelyn didn't have the experience or focus needed to make it work. She was too busy with other things, like the gambling, the constant requests for money, and the media attention. The store started losing money, and she eventually had to sell it. Whatever profit she might have made disappeared into more bad investments and casino losses. She and Herman also dreamed of opening a music store together. Herman was a French horn player and conductor, and they both loved music. But those dreams never materialized. The seed money they had saved kept getting redirected to more immediate needs or more immediate gambling debts. Evelyn also tried studying music herself, thinking she could turn her windfall into a new career. But between the business failures, the constant stream of people asking for money, and her growing gambling problem, she never had the focus or resources to commit properly to anything long-term. The worst part was how quickly it all snowballed. Each bad decision made the next one easier. When she lost money gambling, she would gamble more to try and win it back. When a business venture failed, she would throw money at the next opportunity without proper planning. When people asked for loans, she would say yes because she still thought more money was always coming. By the early 1990s, she had lost most of her money. Her annual payments were barely covering her expenses and debts. The business ventures had failed. The gambling losses were mounting. But Evelyn kept thinking she could turn it around. In 1993, she was still optimistic. She was thinking about leaving New Jersey after her daughter graduated and starting fresh somewhere else. But those plans never happened. The money continued disappearing in chunks. Bad investments, more gambling losses, more loans that never got repaid. By the late 1990s, she was struggling to make ends meet despite theoretically having millions coming to her over time. The final blow came when she made the decision that sealed her fate. She sold her future lottery payments. Companies exist specifically to buy these guaranteed future incomes from lottery winners. They offer lump sums in exchange for the rights to collect those annual payments. Of course, they don't pay the full value because they're taking the risk and making a profit. Evelyn sold all of her remaining payments for immediate cash. She traded a few years of guaranteed income for money she could access right away. The companies that bought her payments were thrilled. They had just secured a steady income stream, all from someone desperate enough to take a massive discount. But Evelyn finally had unrestricted access to her remaining money that she had always wanted. And she spent it just as quickly as she had spent everything else. There wasn't much left anyway. By 2012, it was all gone. The woman who had beaten odds of 1 in 17 trillion was living in a trailer park, completely broke. She had lost every penny of her $5.4 million fortune, all because of her gambling addiction and poor financial planning. So, what can we learn from this mess? Because Evelyn didn't just blow $5 million for no reason. She made choices. Some small, some big, but they all added up and took her down. And if you ever get lucky with money, her story might help you not screw it up. What to learn from her mistakes? Her biggest problem was that she couldn't say no to people. Everyone came to her with sob stories and their hands out. And Evelyn just kept writing checks. One no could have saved so much. The real problem was that she had no plan. No one was helping her figure things out. She was getting over $200,000 a year and just winging it. Buying stuff, giving money away, hoping it would last forever. But that's not how money works when you're spending it faster than it comes in. She didn't invest wisely either. Actually, she didn't make any good investments. Not one that paid off. She bought the convenience store she used to work at, but even that ended up flopping. She should have bought some property or invested in a business with long-term value. She had big dreams of opening a music store, studying again, and building something stable, but those were not good ideas. What she should have done was hire someone. A financial advisor, someone to sit her down and help her create a real budget and actually stick to it. But Evelyn didn't want that. She didn't take advice or ask for help. She thought her luck would carry her all the way through, but it didn't. What makes it really sad is that she could see it happening. The money was disappearing. People were treating her weirdly. She owed money all over the place. By the end, even her yearly lottery checks were going straight to pay debts. She was still a winner on paper, but broke in real life. The biggest lesson from Evelyn's story is that getting money is easy compared to keeping it. You need to learn how to say no. You need to learn how to manage your money and stick to a budget. Evelyn also shows what happens when you think you're special with money. When you don't have much money, you can't get into serious trouble gambling. But if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can lose way more than they ever imagined. Having money can actually create new problems you never had before.
Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. We don't want that.
Right. And then
I won the lottery. When you see the massive prize money offered by lotteries, it's easy to see why so many people are drawn to play. In the United States, two of the biggest lotteries are Powerball and Mega Millions, each boasting jackpots worth over $500 million. It's a staggering amount that captures the imagination of millions, despite the slim odds of winning. But as they say, nothing worth having comes easy. The reality is, the chances of hitting the jackpot are incredibly low, yet the allure of the prize money is enough to tempt even the most skeptical players. Many find themselves fantasizing about the extravagant lifestyle they could lead with such a windfall. Luxurious beach houses, sleek new cars, or extravagant vacations. The prospect of going from rags to riches overnight is undeniably appealing. One remarkable example of the life-changing impact of winning the lottery is Edwin Castro, a resident of California.
Castro took the cash payment. That adds up to $998 million, about $2 million shy of $1 billion.
His story is the epitome of the American dream. He went from ordinary citizen to overnight multi-millionaire when he clinched the largest lottery jackpot ever recorded, a staggering $2.04 billion. With such a monumental win, Castro faced the enviable decision of how to claim his prize. Opting for the lump sum payout, he found himself with a jaw-dropping $628.5 million after deductions. Castro wasted no time in embracing his newfound wealth. He quickly set about fulfilling his dreams, purchasing not one, but 3 homes across California. His garage became a showroom for several vintage cars, including 2 luxurious Porsches. Among his most notable purchases was a breathtaking $25.5 million estate nestled in the Hollywood Hills, a true symbol of his newfound prosperity. This 13,500 square foot mansion has numerous amenities such as 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a game room, a wine cellar, movie theater, bar, spa, fitness studio, you name it, it's got it. A home worthy of a man close to the $1 billion mark. Castro's other real estate investments include a $4 million home in his hometown of Altadena. The home is designed in a Japanese style and comes with a pool, movie theater, 5 bedrooms, and 4 bathrooms. The lottery win had also given him the chance to build a car collection suiting his taste. The man had a collection of vintage cars, including 2 Porsches and 3 Volkswagens. You can see Castro went from the average man to the very top in just a matter of seconds. But taking your lottery prize isn't similar to winning a bet and withdrawing your money. When you win the lottery in the United States, there's a process that follows confirming the legitimacy of the winning ticket with the lottery authority. The primary decision to be made is how you'd like to receive the jackpot, either as a single lump sum or an annual payment distributed over several years.
Almost all the time, the lump sum is better. If you're going to be able to invest that wisely, conservatively, it'll grow much quicker if you have it in your hands.
For the major U.S. lotteries, the annual payments usually occur over a 29-year period. However, some state lotteries do offer more flexible payment plans. Also, the option to claim the prize anonymously varies by state, as some states require the winner's details to be published, which can have significant implications. After choosing the payment method, you receive either the lump sum or your first annual installment, and your interaction with the lottery authority generally ends there. While this may initially seem straightforward, there are complexities associated with suddenly becoming a multimillionaire. First, lottery winnings are taxable income, meaning you must pay a significant portion of your prize to the government. If you take the lump sum, you'll likely be placed in the top tax bracket of 37%, and lottery agencies will withhold 24% of your winnings over $5,000. For instance, winning a $930 million jackpot and taking the lump sum would mean a 24% withholding of about $232.2 million, and an additional amount due of around $111.9 million at the 37% tax rate, leaving you with about $585.9 million. Many lottery winners fail to account for taxes appropriately, leading to financial hardship down the road. The most effective way to handle these issues is to consult with financial and legal advisors who can provide expert guidance. It's recommended to seek advice even before claiming the money to ensure everything is set up correctly from the outset. Let's talk about how winning the lottery is handled in the United Kingdom, which is quite different from how it works in the States.
So if you were to match all 6 numbers tonight, what you would have to do is you would have to dial into our lottery lines, and you would be advised that you would be contacted within 24 hours to go through the process with a winner's advisor.
The process is
Over there, Camelot, the company behind the National Lottery, provides winners with a team of advisors. These advisors are like your personal guides through the whole process, from setting up meetings to handling your winnings. And get this, winners can keep it all on the down low if they want. They can claim their prize without anyone knowing, and the advisors can even stash the cash in a secret account. Not bad, right? But across the pond, things are a bit different. In the States, the level of privacy for lottery winners varies from state to state. Some states make winners' names public knowledge, which can attract all sorts of unwanted attention, from scammers to distant acquaintances looking for a handout. But others offer more anonymity, like in California, where they have to spill the beans about the winner's name and where they bought the ticket. On the flip side, in Missouri, winners can keep their names under wraps unless they say otherwise. Now, if staying low-key is your thing, you can tweak some details, like your address and phone number, before claiming your prize. But let's be real, winning the lottery is like hitting the jackpot of life, right? It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and make some not-so-smart choices. But here's the deal, dropping your old job might seem like a no-brainer, but you gotta have a plan for that big pile of cash. Think of it as a transition phase, out with the old, in with the new. You can't just flip the script overnight. See, there are stories of a lot of folks who strike it rich and end up blowing through their dough faster than you can say jackpot. Why? Because winning money feels different from earning it. It's like getting a free pass to spend. But if you're not careful, you could end up flat broke. So the key is to have a plan, take it slow, and make those dollars count. Tragic ends. Well, some of these stories may seem too terrible to be true, but that's the reality of cashing in big. Sometimes it's not all rainbows and sunshine. The case of Justin Ryder is probably one of the wildest till date. Justin Ryder won a $600,000 lottery prize, which might not be as huge as some, but it was enough for him to chase his wildest dream. Inspired by the movie Austin Powers Gold Member, Justin got the idea to paint himself gold. Yeah, you heard that right. Dude gets gold paint and decides to dip his, well, you know where. He actually dipped his privates and butt in gold paint. But soon he felt something was wrong and decided to buy more expensive gold paint without washing off the first layer. This was a big mistake. The first paint he used turned out to be lead-based, and it seeped into his body, causing lead poisoning that led to his death. But this is just one scenario, and definitely not the only with a tragic lottery story. We'll take a look at some other cases so you can understand how dark winning the lottery can sometimes get. Let's talk about John McGinnis. Back in 1997, John was just a hospital porter when he hit the jackpot, a whopping £16.4 million from the UK National Lottery. Now, John was a generous guy and treated himself to some nice stuff, but he was careful not to go overboard. His big passion was football, so he splurged on buying a whole team for £4.9 million. It sounds cool, right? Well, not exactly. Turns out buying the team also meant taking on their debts too. And within 12 years, John had lost it all. The debts had eaten up all of John's lottery winnings and his personal savings. Everything. Talk about a major financial flop. It turns out not having a financial plan was a costly mistake. If only he'd gotten some professional financial advice sooner, things might have turned out differently. But hey, hindsight's 20/20, right? Then there's Marie Holmes, a single mom working 3 jobs to support her family. However, in 2015, her luck changed when she won $188 million in the North Carolina Powerball. This was her share of a larger $564 million jackpot that was split between 3 winners. But it didn't take long before the troubles began. Her own family accused her of stealing the winning ticket, saying it was her mom who had picked the numbers. Luckily, her mom wanted Marie to have the ticket. After that, Marie faced more challenges. She donated to her church, but the priest sued her for not giving as much as she had initially promised. She also overspent her money and ended up bailing out her boyfriend, a heroin dealer, multiple times. The bail money added up to around $21 million. Despite her efforts to help her boyfriend, he still ended up with a prison sentence. Funnily, he later sued her from prison after she sold some expensive gifts she had bought him. Now Marie is almost broke, and it's crazy just how much people around you want to see you fall when you win the lottery. Of all the cases, Denise Rossi probably deserved her downfall. She won a total of $1.3 million in the lottery. Instead of sharing the good news with her husband at 25 years, she kept the win a secret and decided to ask for a divorce. However, during the divorce process, it came out that she had hidden the lottery win from her husband, Thomas. Legally, her actions were seen as fraud because she didn't disclose the windfall. In the end, Denise was ordered to give her entire winnings to her ex-husband as a result. The reasons behind keeping your lottery win private is undeniable, but hiding it from your partner is wrong, and her greed cost her everything this time. And the final case is that of John Roberts. John was struggling financially before his lottery win. To put things into perspective, he was living in government housing in Scotland because he couldn't afford rent. Winning over $5 million changed his life drastically, but he didn't know how to manage his newfound wealth. He started buying luxury items he'd always wanted, but his real trouble came when 2 friends approached him with a business opportunity. John was excited about the idea of working with his friends, but they weren't as trustworthy as he thought. They misled him about the investment and took off with the money. Just 3 years after winning the lottery, John was left with nothing and ended up living in a mobile home. So you can see there's a whole lot of problems that come after winning the lottery. From family, scammers, or anything, really. But there is a silver lining to this cloud. There's actually a way to avoid all the drama. It's all about following a step-by-step process when you strike it rich with a lottery win. What to do after winning the lottery? The first thing you want to do is secure your ticket. Get that ticket locked down. It's important to protect your winning lottery ticket before anything else. Otherwise, you could end up in a tough spot if you lose it and can't prove you own it. Make both physical and digital copies of the ticket and stash them in different spots, just to be safe. Now, I know you're probably itching to quit your job and shout your win from the rooftops, but hold your horses. It's not the time to make big moves just yet. The time between discovering you've won and claiming your prize isn't the best moment to make big decisions. Keep your win on the down low. Share the news only with your nearest and dearest. Trust me, you don't want any shady characters sniffing around. And here's a biggie. If your state allows it, stay anonymous. Sometimes your win is big enough to attract media interest, so it's important to lay low for some time. Once word gets out that you're rolling in cash, everyone and their grandma will come knocking for a handout. Some states let you keep your privacy by setting up a trust or LLC. Don't rush. You've got time to claim your prize, usually between 180 days and a year. So take a breather, understand your state's rules, and plan your next move carefully. It's natural to be stoked about winning, but play it cool and think ahead. You can also use the waiting period to seek counsel from a tax expert. If you opt for the lump sum, you'll pay taxes on the whole amount right away. With an annuity, you'll only be taxed as you receive each payment. The annuity might help if you struggle with budgeting since it spreads out the payments. However, think about the drawbacks too. Compare the annuity's interest rate with what you could earn by taking the lump sum, paying the taxes, and investing the remainder. You could also look at estate planning. If you choose an annuity and pass away before all the payments are made, your family may face estate taxes without enough funds to cover them. People often take out life insurance policies to cover this risk. When you claim your prize, you've got 60 days to weigh the pros and cons of each option. Consult with experts to help you decide what suits you best. If you don't trust the first professional's advice, get a second opinion. Even if you pay for the extra guidance, it could save you money in the long run. This might seem a little bit extra, but you could change your address and consider going unlisted for extra security and peace of mind. Once you claim your lottery prize, you might get approached by people you haven't heard from in years. You might also hear from financial advisors and lawyers. Lowering your profile can help manage this influx of people. Start by changing phone numbers linked to you and your family to new unlisted ones. Even though your old numbers will still appear online, they'll no longer be active. Fully hiding your address can be tricky, but using a P.O. box as your mailing address can make it harder for people to find you in online searches. You can think about deactivating your social media accounts and updating your email address to keep your personal information private. With your newfound wealth, you should also consider protecting your assets. You want to avoid losing your money to creditors, unhappy exes, or people who might sue you. People might target you for lawsuits if they think you have deep pockets, so it's important to set up barriers that make it hard for them to get your money and property. Asset protection strategies can include using state law exemptions, trust and family limited partnerships, or limited liability companies to create different layers of protection. You might be able to use a mix of these methods, either alone or together, to safeguard your wealth. This is also a good time to review your estate plan. As of 2016, each person can transfer up to $5.45 million tax-free, either while they're alive, after they pass away, or a combination of both. So if you're looking to share some of your newfound wealth with friends and family, now might be a good time to do so. Before you start investing, take care of any outstanding debts you have. Paying off debts is a wise move because it gives you a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate you're paying. Whether it's a credit card balance or a mortgage, eliminating debt means you won't owe that money anymore. Investing, on the other hand, carries risks. You can't be sure whether your investment will grow or shrink. Imagine investing a huge sum in a project and it goes downhill. You'll be left with your debt and no returns from your investment. But once you've cleared your debt, or maybe you never had any debts in the first place, it's time for investing. To make your lottery winnings last and grow, invest wisely. Financial experts recommend placing your money in safe, short-term investments for the first 6 months and leaving it untouched. After that, work with your advisors to create an investment portfolio that balances stocks and bonds. Avoid investing in anything that you don't understand or that sounds too good to be true. It's also a good idea to hold off on major changes in the first 6 months, such as quitting your job, buying a home abroad, or splurging on luxury cars and expensive handbags. Give yourself a budget for small treats to enjoy your wealth, but save the big purchases for later. Even if you suddenly have more money than ever before, stick to a budget to help you maintain control and avoid overspending. Really, winning the lottery can either be the best thing that's happened to you or the worst. It's up to you to swing it in your favor as much as you can, and the only way is through careful planning. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content.